ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। सर्वशास्त्राब्धि पीयूष सर्ववेदैक सत्फल सर्वसिद्धांत रत्नाढ्य सर्वलोकैक दृक्प्रद सर्वभागवत प्राण श्रीमद्भागवत प्रभो कलिध्वान्तोदितादित्य श्रीकृष्ण परिवर्तित परमानंद पाठाय प्रेमवर्ष्य ते सर्वदा सर्वसेव्याय श्रीकृष्णाय नमोऽस्तु मे। मदेकबन्धो मत्सङ्गिन् मद्गुरो मन्महाधन मन्निस्तारक मद्भाग्य मदानंद नमोस्तुते ते। असाधु साधुता दायिन् अतिनीचोच्च तारक अनमुञ्च कदाचिन्मां प्रेम्णा रथकण्ठयोस्फुर। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम की जय। Hare Krishna. So welcome all of you in today's session. So we continue our discussions from 11th canto. So we are studying from 11th canto. 11th canto, chapter 2nd, Maharaj Nimi meets the 9 Yogendras. And in this, we have seen till text 7 till now. So in this particular section of the chapter, first 9 verses, they are talking about Narad Muni, Narad Muni's arrival and Vasudeva's inquiries. So Narad Muni arrived in the palace of Vasudeva at Dwaraka, and that joy of Vasudeva to receive Narad Muni, that was described in 3 verses. He spoke about how Narada's arrival is most auspicious, and then he spoke about how it is incomparable even to the demigods. And Narada, personality like Narada Muni, they cannot be compared even to the demigods. They are greater than even the demigods, because the demigods, we talked about this in yesterday's session, right? They more or less they deal with all the living entities in the manner of transaction. Whatever is our karma, they are the karma sachivas. They are the attendants of karma, assistants of that karma. So Sadhus are of a different nature. They are Deenavatsalas. They are very, very merciful, even to those who are not qualified, even to those who are very fallen from the standards of piety or from the standards of any activities done in the prior life. So that's how the comparison is being made. Uh, so, having glorified Narad Muni in that manner, then Vasudeva is placing his enquiries. So, what is his enquiry? So, yesterday we saw that in text 7 that he's asking about Dharman Bhagavatan Tava Brahmans Tadhapi Pruchhamo. I talk or I ask about, I make enquiries about Bhagavad Dharmas, principles of Bhagavad Dharma. So please speak to me about the principles of Bhagavata Dharma. So in order to answer this only, Narad Muni will bring up the episode of Nimi Jayanteya Samvada, the conversation between Nimi and the sons of Jayanti, that is Navayogendras. So that was text 7. So one more inquiry, especially which is pertaining to his own self, that will be done by Vasudeva. So two more verses in this particular section of the chapter. First 9 verses is the first section. So now we proceed with the next verse. So this is text 8. Aham kila puranantam. Okay, just a minute. Aham kila puranantam prajartho bhuvi muktidam apujayam namokshaya mohito deva mayaya. So, one second. Yeah. So, yes. Ishwara Prabhu, you want to read the translation?
Prabhu, I'm actually outside.
Okay, no problem. Ravindra Sachiputra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Text 8, translation. In a previous birth on this earth, I worshipped the Supreme Lord Ananta. Alone can award liberation. But because I desired to have a child, I did not worship him for liberation. Thus, I was bewildered by the Lord's illusory energy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So you see, Vasudev continues to speak. And Vasudev is saying that aham kila puranantam prajartho bhuvi muktidam apujayam. Aham apujayam. I worshipped Pura. I worshipped previously Supreme Lord Anantam. So aham pura anantam apujayam. I worshipped the Supreme Lord Ananta, Lord Krishna, in my prior birth also. But I worshipped him for what purpose? I worshipped him being a Prajartha, Prajartha son, and desiring a progeny, desiring a child. I worshipped him. Although he is Muktidam, he is the one who can award liberation. He is the one who can end the material existence. But you see, I worshipped him desirous of a progeny, desirous of a child, son. Na mokshaya. I did not worship him for moksha. Why did this happen? Mohito deva maya. I'm being bewildered by deva maya, bewildered by Lord's illusory energy. I actually worshipped him to have him as my child, although he can bestow the highest benediction actually. So, he wants to say further then that basically I worshipped him only for the sake of uh, progeny. So now, he wants to say that, please uh, instruct me about, getting rid of the material existence. That's the next verse. He's saying that, you can see here, text 9. Please instruct me clearly so that by your mercy I may easily free myself from material existence. So although I had Supreme Lord, I had worshipped him before, but then I never inquired from him, how to free myself from material existence. He could have bestowed that, but I never asked. Of course, now, Vasudeva is obviously eternal associate of the Lord, eternal father of the Lord, right? So he speaking such things, obviously we understand that it is not some ordinary ignorant soul speaking like that. So there is the bewilderment of Yogamaya aspect of the Lord. It is not just some ordinary person who forgot the Supreme Lord, and he is asking that, okay, Narad Muni, now again I have fortune of meeting Lord, or a devotee like you, a devotee of the Lord like you. So now please instruct me. So although he's speaking like that out of some manifestation of humility, but the point is he is the most exalted devotee. So that will be clear in the commentary also. So I did not worship the Lord for moksha. This is what is his lamentation is. And of course, by this moksha, we don't mean Sayujya moksha or anything like that, but going back home, back to Godhead, like that. So thus I was bewildered by the Lord's energy. Mohito Deva Mayaya. So you can see Sridhar Swami. Sridhar Swami raises an objection. Nanu त्वत्तः अपि किमन्यो भगवत्पार्षदपात्रमस्ति तत्राह aham किलेति. See, in the last verse, he asked Narad Muni. Narad Muni was asked by Vasudeva that please instruct me in the Bhagavad Dharma. So, as if to raise an objection over that statement, Sridhar Swami, he is expressing that objection, saying, if Narad Muni were to say, well, you are saying, please instruct me in Bhagavad Dharma, but tvattah api kimanyo Bhagavad prasad patram asti. Prasad it is. Bhagavad prasad patram asti. So tvattah, actually, who in this world who is a greater recipient of mercy of the Lord than yourself? Bhagavad prasada patram. Patram is the recipient of the mercy of the Lord. Who is there in this world? So why do you say that, please instruct me in Bhagavad Dharma like that? Why? What instructions do you need? You are father of the Lord. So in order to answer that objection, akshepasya samadhanam, that akshepa is being answered by Vasudeva in this verse, by this particular verse, aham kila. Okay, you are saying I am such a great recipient of mercy of the Lord, but you know what? I worship the Supreme Lord, just being desirous of a son. I did not worship him to go back home, back to Godhead. You see? So that's why I'm asking him, please instruct me, how to attain the lotus feet of the Lord, how to transcend this material existence. Bhuvi prajartah apujayam putra labh prayojanah san pujitavan. So I worship that Lord on the earth. See, which birth he is referring to? When did Vasudev worship him for getting him as the son? Uh, Vasudev worshipped the Lord for getting him as son in Swayambhuva Manvantar. Uh, this is the story of Swayambhuva Manvantar, where Vasudev and Devaki were Prishni and Sutapa. Uh, Vasudev was a Sutapa. Vasudev was a Prajapati named as Sutapa. Uh, See now, when we say that Vasudev was Sutapa, what does that mean actually? Uh, Sutapa is a Prajapati and Vasudev is eternal father of the Lord, right? So, Jiva Goswami in Krishna Sandarbha, he has analyzed this episode and he mentions that actually Prishni and Sutapa were the amshas of Vasudev and Devaki. These were fractions or portions of Vasudev and Devaki. So Vasudev and Devaki, they are eternal parents of the Lord. uh, and these personalities, they can also, appear in their full manifestation, or they can also come in their partial manifestation. These abilities, these potencies are there in those who are the spiritual world's residents. They can come also as an amsha, right? In fact, this is there even in devatas, right? Even devatas can appear as an amsha. Mm. Devatas appear as amshas in Dwarka Lila, amongst the Yadus. We know that. And the Pandavas were also Devata amshas. I mean, the Pandavas, they had Devata amshas in them. The Pandavas are also eternal associates, but within those eternal associates, the Devatas amshas were also merged. That's the understanding. So similarly, here also we see Vasudeva and Devaki. They are the eternal parents of the Lord, but in their portions, amshas, they had appeared as Prishni and Sutapa. And in that particular birth, Lord was worshipped by them, and Lord Krishna was worshipped by them actually. They worshipped Lord Krishna himself. Jiva Goswami has analyzed this in Krishna Sandarbha. So Prishni and Sutapa, they worshipped Lord Krishna. So when Lord appeared to them, and this episode is there in 10th canto, you know this, in the 3rd chapter, this episode is spoken. So in that particular scenario, Prishni and Sutapa, they performed great tapasya, and when Lord appeared in front of them, Lord said that, yes, I will become your son, because they wanted a son like the Lord. In fact, they wanted Lord only. I mean, they were pure devotees and they wanted Lord only as the son. So then, Putra Labha Prayojanaha San Pujitavan. So that's what Vasudeva is remembering, that, yeah, this was how I was. Lord Krishna himself describes this to Vasudeva and Devaki. If you remember, uh, when Lord Krishna appeared in that jail of Kamsa. Yeah. So that time, Lord Krishna himself speaks these things to Devaki and Vasudeva. He tells them about their prior births. So, yes, this is how they had worshipped the Lord. And then Lord, he fulfilled their desire. So because those were amshas of Vasudeva and Devaki, so Lord also appeared to them means Lord also became their son in the form of his amsha. So Krishna and Sutapa, they are amshas of Vasudeva and Devaki. So Lord also appeared as their son, and that is not original Krishna, but that is amsha of Krishna. Who was that? That was Prishnigarbha. So Prishnigarbha is that particular incarnation. And this Prishnigarbha is the one this particular incarnation is talked about also, right? He was the one who blessed Dhruva Maharaj also, Prishnigarbha. So Prishnigarbha was that fulfillment of getting the son. And then Lord fulfilled these benediction, that the benediction that they wanted, that we should have a son like you, or like rather we should have you as our son. Madrusho, that's the word. So then in the Vaivasvat Manvantara, again the Lord appeared as their son when these personalities appeared as Kashyapa and Aditi. So Kashyapa and Aditi were the portions of Vasudeva and Devaki, and Lord became their son as Vamana. So this happened in Vaivasvat Manvantara. And then again, finally, the last fulfillment of that benediction came in where Lord Krishna himself appeared, and he was full manifestation of the Supreme Lord. I mean, he is Krishna, he is not Amsha, he is Amshi. And he's becoming their son, because Vasudeva and Devaki themselves also now, they have come as full manifestation. These are not the Amshas now, Vasudeva and Devaki. These are full manifestations of Lord's eternal parents. So that's how he has explained this episode, Srila Jiva Goswami. So Vasudeva and Devaki, they are remembering that prior life, and that's why they are saying, I worship the Lord due to desire to get a son. Vasudeva. Vasudeva is talking here to Narada. So he says, I worship the Lord due to the desire to get a son only. Kilaeti, kila word has been used. Kila, right? Kileti suti grahe bhagavad uktam anusmarati. So kila, with that, the sense is what? The word kila signifies that he is remembering the words of Lord in the maternity room. These words were spoken by the Lord himself to him and his wife Devaki. And he's remembering those words spoken in the maternity room under arrest of Kamsa, isn't it? So that's why kila. Kila, he's like remembering that word, remembering those words of the Lord. Oh, indeed, like that. And that's the sense of killer here. So now, Narad Muni, I want to know from you actually how to worship the Lord in order to become free from the material existence. This is the point. So this is the straightforward meaning of the verse. It can be understood at that level. But Jiva Goswami gives, actually, because Vasudeva Devaki are eternal associates, so he says that we have to give different understanding of this particular verse. One thing is like very clear that, okay, Vasudeva is speaking out of humility. He is like speaking for the sake of conditioned souls, that please instruct me in that particular manner. So that's how. But when we are talking about here now, Jiva Goswami is another meaning, you see. Just a minute. Yeah. So what does Jiva Goswami say? Atha Brahma Shapa Shravanena Shri Krishna Antaraya Brahmaha Vyagraha Swaprayojan api nivedayati ahamiti dvabhyam. So Shri Krishna, here we see that Vasudeva, he had heard about the curse of the Brahmanas. So as per Srila Jiva Goswami, this episode is happening after the curse of the Brahmanas. The curse of the Brahmanas was given, and Vasudeva Narad Samvada is happening after that. This is Jiva Goswami's explanation, actually. So, of course, there are some other pramanas which seem to be giving an idea that this episode has happened before. But whatever, here Srila Jiva Goswami is giving this clear-cut explanation that Brahma Shrapa Shravanena Shri Krishna Antaraya Brahmaha. So Vasudeva became concerned, actually, worried that, okay, now probably because of this Brahma Shapa, we are soon going to lose the association of Krishna. There will be some Antaraya Brahmaha. there will be some vignas, some obstacles in our association of Krishna. Probably, so I should ask Narad Muni, I should ask for those instructions by which I will be delivered, like that. So this is how I don't have much association of the Supreme Lord now here. In fact, I'm worried that we will be soon taken away. And so here is my opportunity to learn from Sri Narad Muni, pure devotee of Sri Krishna, who is so much capable, samartha in giving these teachings of Bhagavad Dharma, teachings of how to conquer Maya. So let me ask him that. So that is what is expressed by him in these two verses, beginning with this verse, meaning verse 8 and 9, like that. Devasya bhagavato mayaya kripaya mohitaha. So actually, I was bewildered by Lord's Maya. So what is the meaning of Maya? Kripa. I was bewildered by Lord's mercy, actually. So what is that mercy? Tan madhuri vashibhuto. I was so much overwhelmed. I was so much controlled, overtaken by Lord's sweetness, that I just wanted a son like him. So that's why I did not worshipped him for even the moksha. Mokshaya api na pujayam kimuta anyasmai. So I was so much overwhelmed and overtaken by Lord's beauty, Lord's sweetness, that I just desired him as my son. I did not worship him for moksha or anything. What to speak of anything else? I did not want anything material. I just wanted him as my son. Kintu prajartham tadrupa putra prapta gyeva. I worshipped him only I worshipped and asked him for the sake of only the putra prapta ye. I just wanted him as my son, like that. So this is how. So this bewilderment, Narad Muni, this bewilderment, Vasudeva's bewilderment, Jeev Goswami says that it is not due to Deva Maya, but it is due to that experience of great sweetness of the Lord, like that. So hearing the beautiful descriptions of the Lord and seeing that Supreme Lord appearing in front of them, so we see that what they wanted was that Supreme Lord becomes their son. Because Sri Krishna appeared in front of them. And this is Jiva Goswami's opinion. Krishna Garbha did not appear in front of them. Who appeared? Krishna himself appeared. But as their son, Krishna Garbha appeared. And finally, in the third birth, Sri Krishna became their son also. So this way. So this is all happening under transcendental Yoga Maya potency. Deva Maya, mercy of the Lord, that experience of his sweetness. So that's the point. Bewildered by the mercy of the Lord, controlled by his sweetness, I did not worship him for liberation. What to speak of other things? I worshipped him to attain a son like him. So Vasudeva is not to be reproached for anything here. He may be speaking like that so that this conversation happens for the sake of all the conditioned souls, right? We talked about that idea in the beginning of 11th canto only. Both the conversations here, Vasudeva Narada Samvada and Shri Krishna Uddhava Samvada, which are the two philosophical sections of 11th canto, there the individual patras, the individual recipients of those instructions, which means Vasudeva and Uddhava, obviously they are the greatest devotees of the Lord. So then for them, whatever is the pretext that they are saying, please instruct us in this manner, those pretexts are only for the sake of conditioned souls, actually. The message is meant for us only. That's how. So that's why Jiva Goswami is giving this meaning like that. So Vasudeva might express this, but we know that he is the eternal associate and there is nobody more fortunate than him. So still he wanted to hear this explanation. I mean, this bhakti and the process of bhakti to conquer birth and death. So that's why Narad Muni is being requested by Vasudeva. So you see, proper disciples, they write the purport. According to Sridhar Swami, the word killer, indeed, it is true, or as is well known, indicates that Vasudeva was remembering the words. So we talked about this. Suti Grahe, Lord's statements were being remembered by them. Srila Jiva Goswami states that from the anxiety of Vasudeva, which is expressed in this verse, it is to be discerned that Vasudeva had heard of the curse of the Brahmanas at Pindarak. So this also idea, Jiva Goswami, Brahma Shrapa Shravanena, right? Why Vasudeva wanted? Vasudeva understood that the Lord's manifest pastimes within this universe were coming to an end, and he now lamented that he had not directly taken advantage of opportunity to worship Krishna, to go back home, back to Godhead, like that. So in that manner, because even in Dwarka, Shri Krishna hardly resided, right? Shri Krishna would always be visiting different places like Hastinapura, or especially Hastinapur and all. So he would be out. So it was not like, okay, Krishna all the time, he was there in Dwarka. So we can meet him anytime and take instructions anytime or something like that. No, Krishna was also constantly away from Dwarka. Even Dwarkavasis pray like that in the first canto, isn't it? That whenever you are away, it's like, it's so difficult for us. It's like one moment is like 12 years or more. In that same mood, they talk about this way. So that's why now Vasudeva wanted to take this opportunity. Vasudeva lamented that he had desired Krishna to come to him as a son instead of desiring to go back to Krishna. Commenting on this incident in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada has emphasized that we should desire to go back home, back to Godhead, rather than try to bring the Lord to the world as our son. So this is some good discussion that is brought up by disciples of Srila Prabhupada, where Srila Prabhupada in that episode of, this is in 10th canto, 3rd chapter, Srila Prabhupada talks about this, that Vasudeva and Devaki, they are very special souls. They are eternal associates and all. But as such, as a devotee, we should desire to go back home, back to Godhead to serve Krishna eternally, rather than bring the Lord to this world as our son. So the example of Vasudeva and Devaki, it is glorified because they are actually the parents of the Lord. But especially this aspect of bringing the Lord to the material world, Prabhupada says that this is not how a devotee desires. Devotee wants to actually, even if somebody wants to reciprocate with Krishna in that Vatsalya Rasa, but the point is, that Vatsalya Rasa, he wants to render that service in the spiritual world, instead of desiring that, okay, let Lord become my son or something like that. It's fine for Supreme Lord when his actual parents in the spiritual world, they are desiring like that. But Prabhupada does say this idea. You can see that this is only quoted here. Just a minute. Yeah. See, these statements, these are from 10.3, 10th canto, 3rd chapter only. Yeah. If we want to get the Supreme Personality of Godhead to become one of us in this material world, this requires great penance, just as Sutapa and Prashni had done. But if we want to go back to Krishna, we need only understand him and love him. So that's why Prabhupada says that instead of trying to bring Krishna in the material world, it is better that we desire to serve Krishna in the spiritual world, and we desire to go back to Godhead. So you understand the Vatsalya Rasa, that Sambandhanuga in Raganuga. In Raganuga there is Kamanuga and there is Sambandhanuga. So Sambandhanuga is where the devotee wants to serve the Supreme Lord in Vatsalya Rasa. So Prabhupada is not denouncing that idea at all. That is a recommended way in which, Shyamasundar Krishna is worshipped. That's what we aspire for. In fact, I mean, we meaning that's what the Raganuga aspirants aspire for. Gaudiya Vaishnavas especially aspire for that aspect of Kamanuga, that aspect of Manjari Bhava, whatever. But the point is, it's a bona fide Raganuga process where a devotee desires to reciprocate with the Lord as his parent, in the same way as Nanda and Yashoda. So, but Prabhupada's point is that reciprocation one can cultivate and one can desire to serve the Lord like that in the spiritual world. The position of Nanda, Yashoda, that is already taken. But the point is, one can serve the Lord in something similar, in that similar bhava in the spiritual world. So that is why Prabhupada is writing in that particular manner. So I hope now that clarifies this idea. Instead of bringing the Lord here for some material purpose, to have a son or whatever else, if we go back home, back to Godhead, our real relationship with the Lord is revealed, and we eternally engage in our eternal relationship. So that's how. So this is that purport, 10.338. If those of you want to know complete context of Prabhupada's statement, so then you could read from this purport. But that's his point. Prabhupada's disciples also have brought up a nice comparison between, Prishni and Sutapa desiring Lord as the son, and then Atri Muni and Anasuya desiring a son like the Lord. See, this episode comes in the 4th canto, right? Atri and Anasuya. So Atri Muni and Anasuya, they wanted a son and they worshipped the Supreme Lord. But there we see that when they worshipped the Supreme Lord, especially Atri Muni, so he accepted all the three deities, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, on equal footing. That episode is analyzed by Jiva Goswami again, and other commentators also in 4th canto. So, he, amongst three of them, who is supreme, or all three are equal, all three are at equal position. So, Atri Muni's idea was that all these three deities, they are the supreme, they are the greatest amongst all the demigods in the material world, like that. So when he worshipped the Supreme Lord to have a son like him, so all the three deities appeared there, right? The three deities meaning three personalities, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. So, Phalena Parichiyate, right? Why did all the three of them appear? Because that's what was his sankalpa, that's what was his conception. And that's why three of them appeared. And then we see that all three gave benediction to him. So Atri Muni got, three sons, which were, two of them were Amshas of Brahma and Shiva, and one was incarnation, avatar, like that. The word avatar is used only for Vishnu, actually. For others, like Brahma and Shiva, there are words like amshas, they are used. So, Soma, and then Durvasa and Dattatreya. These were the sons of the Atri Muni and Anasuya. So that episode, Prabhupada also has analyzed there. And here proper disciples are also comparing these two episodes. So they say that Atri Muni said he wanted a son exactly like the Lord. And therefore he was not a pure devotee because he had a desire to be fulfilled, and that desire was material. Like that. So in case of Atri Muni, although he is very exalted, we know that he is an exalted sage and he worshipped the Lord with devotion also. But it is not exactly like Prishni and Sutapa, who were pure devotees of the Supreme Lord, and they being the Amshas of Lord's eternal parents, actually. So Atri and Anasuya, they are not treated as Kevala Bhaktas like that. So they are exalted, no doubt. Anasuya and Atri are celebrated personalities, right? But we see that this understanding that they are not at the same level like Vasudeva and Devaki or Krishna and Sutapa over here, because the desire was primarily to have, a child, a very great exalted child, and that would be like Supreme Lord. That will be like Supreme Lord in power, in qualities and all. So it's a desire to have an offspring, actually. It's a desire to have a son. But let that son be, like Lord in terms of power and influence and all that. It's not exactly the desire that Lord only should become my son. This way. Lord only should become my son. So still we see there that Supreme Lord still they're fulfilled, but then all three of them came, and then all three of them blessed Atri Muni, and then that's how Atri Muni had these three sons. So out of which Dattatreya is certainly one of the portions of the Supreme Lord, avatars of the Supreme Lord, this way. But still, because that desire was for the child and not exactly Lord should become my child, Lord should become my son. So that's why the analysis is done by Acharyas, and Prabhupada also there in purport mentions. Thus, Atri Muni cannot be counted amongst the pure devotees. Vasudeva and Devaki, however, did want the Lord himself, and therefore they were pure devotees of the Lord. This way. So one desire, one desire is to have, just a minute. So one desire is to have Lord himself as the son, and another is to have a son who will be like Lord, who will be like of similar power and influence. So that's how these two episodes also have been analyzed here. So Narad Muni concludes, Vasudev concludes now here. There's a lot of disturbance around here somehow, so sorry in case I don't appear to be being able to focus. So quite a happening place right in Govardhan, so that's all. Text 9. Yatha vichitra vyasanat bhavadbhir vishvato bhayat mucchema hyanjasai tathana shadhi subrata. Okay. Okay, anyone wants to read? Yeah.
Yeah, I can read, Prabhu. I'm just back.
All right, please.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat
My
Pranam.
dear Lord, you are always true to your vow. Please instruct me clearly so that by your mercy I may easily free myself from material existence, which is full of many dangers and keeps us constantly bound in fear.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So that's why, oh Narad Muni, so this is like second enquiry, you can say. This is like second enquiry of Vasudeva. So please, Tatha Naha Shadhi. Naha Shadhi. Shadhi has that same dhatu, Shas. Shas means to discipline, right? Shasana, Shastra, all these words are made from the same dhatu called Shas. So that's why please instruct me, please discipline me, Nahashadhi, by which what? Yatha Vichitra Vyasanad Vishvato Bhayad Vayam Muchema. So please instruct to me in such a manner that by your mercy I can be freed from Vishvato Bhayat, from all the fear, from the fear of material existence, which is said to be Vichitra Vyasanat. It is full of many, many dangers. Vyasana means danger. Vichitra Vyasanat are many kinds of dangers, very unique, different kinds of dangers in the material world, right? So, Vishvato Bhaya, that can be translated as fear of material existence or sort of all fear, Vishvato Bhaya. So, please instruct to me in that manner so that I could be freed from this fear of the material existence. And please instruct Anjasa, Adha. You instruct in a manner that is direct, Anjasa, or rather Adha, and Anjasa is Anayasena, easily. Please instruct me in direct and easy to understand manner, like that, so that I can immediately understand. Narad Muni is also addressed as Suvrata here. Suvrata, meaning you are always true to your vow. Suvrata, whatever vrata you take, you don't, you always make sure that you fulfill that vrata, you fulfill that vow. Sometimes we may take a lot of vows, but we are not able to fulfill them, right? But Narad Muni is Suvrata, always true to your vow. So, if you decide something, you 100% you do it. So, please instruct me in this manner how to cross over the material existence. Sridhar Swami. Ataha yatha mucchemahi, yatha mucchemahi, this should be separated. Ato yatha mucchemahi tatha naha asman shadhi shikshaya. Therefore, please instruct me in such a way that I may be liberated. Yatha mucchema tatha asman shadhi. Shadhi means shikshaya. Please instruct me in such a way that I may be liberated. Liberated from what? Vishvato bhayat. Vichitrani vyasanani yasmin samsare tasmat samsarat. Like that. So, that samsara is said to be vichitra vyasanam, vichitra vyasanam. So, this samsara, this material existence is full of so many obstacles, so many dangers, vichitrani vyasanani. So please instruct me in such a way that I can be freed from this samsara, like that. Okay. So vichitra vyasanat, vishvato bhayat, they can also be qualifiers for this word called samsara, samsarat. Although it is not mentioned, that's what it means, like that also. This way. So vishvato bhayat mucchema, like that. So please instruct me in such a way that I can be freed from this samsara, which is fear from all sides, or which is full of various dangers. Tatha vishvataha sarvataha bhayam yasmin tasmat. Similarly, it has fear from all sides. So that's how Sridhar Swami, he has used these two words as qualifiers for samsara. Samsarat mucchema. Let me be freed from the samsara, the repeated birth and death, this world of repeated birth and death. Kidrisham samsar, kidrisha samsara, so vichitra vyasana, vishvato bhaya. This samsara is what? It is full of various dangers, and it is also invoking fear from all sides, like that. Bhavadbhir hetu bhute, it will be caused by you, meaning these instructions will be caused by you, spoken by you. Anjasa means anayasena, easily. Please speak to me in such a way that I can easily understand. Adha means sakshat, adha means directly. Please give these instructions directly to me. Adha, very, very direct instructions. Please speak to me without any reservation directly, like that. Jiva Goswami says, Vishvato bhayat means sarvataha api bhaya hetoho api brahma shapat. Please free me from this cause of great fear, which is the curse of the sages, like that. So he's asking that please free me from this curse of the sages, because that's what I'm fearful of. So please give these instructions so that I can meditate on these instructions and become free from this fear of the curse also that we have. Okay, so that's all. If you come to proper purport, proper disciples. In this connection, the words Anjasa and Adha, which means easily and directly, are very important. Although foolish persons proudly want to jump up directly to the Supreme Personality of Godhead without accepting his pure devotee as spiritual master, those who are experienced in spiritual science know that by submission and service at the lotus feet of a pure devotee, one directly contacts the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Anjasa and Adha, these words are being connected to the aspect that, instead of taking instructions from Supreme Lord, a pure devotee, a spiritual master, one takes instruction from Acharya, and those instructions, they will help us to understand actually, because they will be very much given in a way that we understand Anjasa easily and Adha directly, right? Like sometimes Lord's words are very enigmatic and they are very difficult to understand, isn't it? Krishna also says in 11th canto, he also likes parokshavad. So sometimes Lord speaks also very much in parokshavad manner, in direct manner. Those words are full of enigmatic meaning. But when an acharya instructs, then we see that that instruction is direct and it is very easy to understand, anjasa, and it is also very direct. So people, in fact, have opposite mentality. They don't want to surrender to spiritual master, and they think that why Krishna is not my spiritual master? I accept only Krishna as my master or as my guru. I don't want to accept anyone else, any spiritual master as my guru. But the idea is Krishna's words are there in scripture. You try to understand them. Do you really understand? So if we have to understand Krishna's words, we need spiritual master, isn't it? Without his mercy, it's so difficult to understand. So to think that that kind of submission and service is some kind of obstacle in Lord's worship, that is the foolishness of highest order, right? So that's the idea that they are speaking. Acharyam mam vijaniyan navamanyeta karheche. One should understand that the pure devotee of Krishna stands on the same spiritual level as the Lord himself. Like that. In fact, Lord's instructions may be difficult to understand, but spiritual master, as per our level, he speaks, he gives those instructions anjasa easily and adha directly, like that. So that's the idea over here they are speaking. Those who actually desire the highest perfection, that of going back home, back to Godhead, should study very carefully the example shown by Sri Vasudeva. He indicates that although one cannot achieve liberation by directly worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can very easily achieve the perfection of life simply by a moment's association with the pure devotee of Lord Krishna, such as Narad Muni, the exalted Vaishnava saint among the demigods. So here Vasudeva is saying that I worshipped the Supreme Lord, but I could not take the benefit of his association by seeking these instructions about how to conquer the material nature and go back home. But now here you are, and I have this great fortune now that I can understand these instructions by you. So that's how the disciples are writing here that in Lord's association, the desired purpose was not achieved. But now here is a pure devotee and he can help you to achieve the desired purpose. Just taking the external meaning of the text. Otherwise, we know Vasudev Devaki, they are most exalted parents only of the Lord. But from the general sense. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, the word Vishvato Bhayat indicates Vasudev very much feared the curse of the Brahmanas. So that's why he is asking for protection from that curse by instructing him in how to remember the Supreme Lord and how to worship him like that. Okay, so this is it. So this completes the section actually. And this particular section is over 1 to 9. So now, if you want to ask anything on this, you may ask. Now the next set of verses, they don't have much commentary. From 10th verse to 23rd verse, it's just talking about the dynasty of Bharat Maharaj and just introducing who are the Navayogendras, like that. So 1 to 9 section, which is Vasudeva's inquiries, Narada's arrival and Vasudeva's inquiry, that is over now. Okay, so anything, Mahatseva Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat.
No.
Prabhuji, is it mentioned like what I understood is that Atri Muni and Anusuya, they considered these three devtas as same or something like that? You
Yeah,
mentioned?
it is. Yes, it is mentioned by Jiva Goswami in the fourth canto commentary.
Okay, but that itself is an Namaprad we read.
No, see,
How to understand?
yeah, true. The point is like this, that, when talking about Atri and Anasuya, what there he says, Jiva Goswami, and Prabhupada has also quoted in purport, is that we see that he had understanding about how the position is very unique of these three personalities, and in that especially Lord Hari also. But the sages also, not all of them are Kevala Bhaktas. Sometimes they are treated like even Bhrugu and such personalities. They are very exalted sages, right? But are they pure devotees? No, they are not. So they can come into categories like Karma Mishra Bhaktas or Jnana Mishra Bhaktas. Commentaries do make that kind of analysis also. They analyze the various sons of Brahma and who is into which category. So somebody like Narada is a pure devotee, certainly. Kumaras are considered pure devotees also. But for the others, they come into different categories. So it is like they have the understanding of Lord very clearly, no problem. But still, it will not be like the way it is understood by Kevala Bhaktas. There will be some sort of, you can say, lack of that understanding. So now, it may be very surprising for us because we may think, oh, we being the Kali Yuga souls, we understand Lord and his position. How can these sages not understand? But it's not like that. They may know Shastrikal wisdom, a million times greater than us. But that aspect of Kevala Bhakti, whether it is there or not, based on that, the analysis is being done. So if that understanding and aspect of Kevala Bhakti is not there, then you may find that some kind of lack of understanding will be there. So as far as Atri Muni is considered, he considered all the three deities very, very special. And he considered Hari amongst them as very special also, no doubt. But then still, that understanding it was not exactly offensive, but it was like, okay, these three are the major deities. And if I want a child who is like Supreme Lord, so he just thought that, okay, so whom should I consider? Will that child be like Hari, or child will be like Brahma or Vishnu? What exactly? So he just prayed, whoever is, that Supreme Lord, I pray to him like that. So it is not exactly the second offense, or rather, what is that? Second, right? Second. Yes. Uh,
Number, I'm sure.
so where we are talking about that particular aspect. So it is not exactly in that manner. It was just some sense of understanding was missing. J. Goswami says that, like that. So he obviously knows Shastra in a great deal. He is not considering Lord Vishnu to be like just other demigods, just like any other demigod. Shiva and Brahma are special, no? They are considered Gunavataras.
Right.
So he is equating them on that platform of Gunavataras. They all three being same because they are Gunavataras. But now amongst them also position of Hari is extremely special in that manner. So he perceived that prominent conception was there in his mind of all of them being Gunavataras, and in that way we also equate them. But still, there is this further understanding, okay, Brahma is in Jiva Tattva, and then Shiva is Lord, but then Shiva is in touch with the material nature. So he is Svechaya Tamasa Sparsha. By his own desire, he has accepted that touch of Tamoguna. So those understandings and all, in retrospection now, when we hear from acharyas and all, so we may understand these things to some extent, little bit. But Atri, when he is worshipping, because he does not exemplify the process of Kevala Bhakti, so some part of that kind of understanding was not there, and that's why when he worshipped, all three personalities appeared, and all three became his sons also. Their amshas became his sons. So that's how it is mentioned. If it was just a namaparad, straight, then probably there would not be any fulfillment also of that benediction, right? In fact, there would be some reaction for that.
So this could happen that Prabhu, because we are in this sampradaya and we have that knowledge. So if we think like that, it will become namaprad. But others who are not given that kind of clear understanding, for them it could be, it may not be. Maybe this is too much hypothetical question.
See, the second aparad is Shivasya Shri Vishnor Yahi Guna Namadi Sakalam Dhiya Bhinyam Pashyet Sakhalu Hari Nama Hitakara. And that's Shivasya Shri Vishnor Yahi Guna Namadi Sakalam Dhiya Bhinnam Pashyet. So, one thing is that Jiva Goswami explains this verse in two ways actually. He says that Shivasya and Shri Vishnu Guna Namadi Sakalam. So the point is that did Atri Muni consider them as three independent Supreme Lords who are independent of each other? No, he did not. He did not consider them as three independent Supreme Lords. But he saw that their glory in terms of material world and controlling material world, all of them are Gunavataras this way. So verse, the second offense is especially talking about this aspect that you see the glory of Shiva and glory of Vishnu as completely independent of each other. Dhiya bhinnam, wo bhinna hai ek dusre se ekdam. So you consider that these are like independent personalities and they have their independent glories, like that. So that way, that would be considered an offense then. It would not be, because Shiva is also Ishvara only finally, but Ishvara who has, on his own desire, he has accepted the touch of Tamoguna this way. So that Bhinnam aspect, it's in terms of independent also, and that Bhinnam aspect is in terms of also separating Lord Shiva and Vishnu. So one should not consider Shiva as completely independent also of the Supreme Lord. Neither one should think that, okay, Shiva is just an ordinary living entity. So that's not how Atri Muni understood or like that. So what I see, what I remember from the commentaries in fourth canto is the aspect of Gunavatar is highlighted over there, but he was not into considering, or he was not misunderstanding position of Shiva or Brahma. That is how it is. And another meaning of this verse, this second offense is, because I'll complete that topic. It's Srila Jiva Goswami takes that word Shiva also as a qualifier for Vishnu. So Shivasya Shri Vishnu Iha Guna Namadi Sakalam, which means that Vishnu, who is Shiva, Vishnu, who is the most auspicious. So if you make distinction between Lord Vishnu's name, form, and his personality, then that is second offense.
Wow.
You are thinking, oh, Lord Vishnu's personality is different, and his name and his pastimes and his all these paraphernalia, they are different. So in that case, the Shiva aspect is just taken away. You are distinguishing between Lord and his holy name, then finished. That is the second offense, like that.
And this independent aspect is also very, very important
And
point to understand, Prabhuji.
independent also.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sanatan Govind Prabhu. Yeah, thank you, bro. Sanatan Govind Prabhu.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Wonderful class. Prabhu, you mentioned that Sutapa and Prishni, they are Anshas of Vasudev and Devaki. And then later you mentioned Kashyap and Aditi. So are either Kashyapa and Aditi, are they also Anshas of Vasudev Devaki? That was my first question. And my second question was, in the verse 8, it says, Vasudeva Maharaj says, in the previous birth on this earth, I worshipped the Supreme Lord. So how did Vasudeva Maharaj remember his previous births?
Oh, I told that, no? I think probably you
I
didn't.
think I missed it.
You
I
missed
missed it, I guess.
Yeah, their previous births were told by Sri Krishna himself, no? When Krishna appeared in from Devaki, so Krishna spoke to them in maternity room, no? So 10th canto, 3rd chapter describes this. So when he spoke to them in the maternity room, when he appeared in that form of, first he appeared as four-handed form, and then he became Vishnu in his normal form. Lord Krishna, actually Lord Krishna, but who is Vasudeva Krishna. So he's four-handed. So he's Vasudeva Krishna, you can say. So he spoke to them, he himself described to them that how I have fulfilled your benedictions now, because I have become your son. So that's how they knew it. That's how Vasudeva remembered what he spoke. Yeah. What was the first question, bro?
First question was whether the Kashyap Muni and Aditi, they are also expansions of Vasudevaki, just like Sutapa and Prishni.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Is that the case?
Sutapa and Prishni, those amshas only appeared again as Kashyap and Aditi.
Okay, bro. Yes.
Those only appeared again as Kashyap and Aditi.
Thank you.
Ashish Prabhu.
Prabhuji, वो Dadichi Muni, it comes in pure devotee or
Dadichi. Well, Prabhu, I see there are some episodes in Bhagavad about Dadichi Muni, certainly where the Vajra was made from his, and it was a very great sacrifice. It was completely as per Lord's instruction only, because Lord wanted, so he accepted it. So Dadichi is certainly glorified as a very great devotee. Whether that kind of analysis, Prabhu, it doesn't strike me right now. Whether Dadichi is analyzed by anybody like that, was he a pure devotee or not? But see, within Bhagavatam, no, all personalities may appear like pure devotees because that devotion is highlighted. But if you read scrutinizingly on the basis of commentaries and all, then they are also analyzed little differently. Sometimes they are Karma Mishra Bhaktas, sometimes they are Jnana Mishra Bhaktas and all. So we'll have to take episode by episode. So Dadichi's great instructions are talked about in the 6th canto, where he offers himself to make that Vajra to kill Indra and all that.
Right.
But that kind of analysis, whether he is exactly in which category of bhakti, I did not come across Acharyas, Prabhu. Maybe if I come across, I'll let you know.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Jai Gopinath Prabhu, you want to ask something?
Yes,
Hare
Ganga Prabhu.
Ratna.
Prabhu, I have a small question. Do the eternal associates and the devatas can do partial manifestation of their own or only on the instruction of Krishna whenever the Lord appears us? You mentioned that they can also do partial manifestation.
Yeah. They can do, like these personalities have that ability to appear. So you are asking whether that will be only in Lord's pastimes, or it can be even that ability can be independent also, like that?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
No, there are references like Jiva Goswami also speaks about this. The Devatas and all that, and in fact, so Puranas also speak about these ideas. Sometimes the Devatas, they, even though there is no Krishna's involvement over there, their own worshippers are worshipping them with a particular kind of desire or benedictions. So the devatas and all that, they do have that ability where they can manifest as amshas. Even in the 4th canto, in this episode only, where the avatars. So I remember Vijay Dhwaj Tirth speaks about this idea, where he says that the devatas can come as amshas. They have this ability, while avatar idea is only for the Supreme Lord. So there also he says the devatas, when they come, when they appear, that ability of them to come in form of portions and all, he says that should be never be called as avatar. It should be called only as amsha. So this is Vijay Dhwaja's explanation as far as I remember in the 4th. And I can again confirm, but he says that. So on the basis of what I have read about these, the idea seems to be pertaining that they have that ability on their own, they can do it. And especially when Lord's pastime is there, then Lord will instruct also. Okay, he will instruct, he will ask demigods that, okay, you want to serve me in this incarnation, so come as your amshas. So there are these amshas manifesting in the Leelas as Pandavas or as there is Amsha of Kamadev, Amsha of all these people like that. So as far as I have read, that's how it appears to me. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes. 4th cantos, that Atri section can be referred again. Probably there, I think we will get the more insight. Okay.
Yes.
So fine. We should proceed now, I think. Okay, so this is text 10 now. So now from text 10 to 23, this is the next section of this chapter, and this is the section of Narad Muni basically begins to tell about Navayogendras. First, Narad Muni expresses happiness over Vasudeva's inquiries, and then he remembers the episode of the Navayogendras. And he just gives a sort of prelude to Navayogendras, who are they and all that. So this is a simple section actually. All right, text 10. Okay, so in the rest of the time, so I will just have one devotee read the translations. Any one of you who wants to volunteer to read the translations, you can do so. Shri Shuka Uvacha राजन्नेवं कृत प्रश्नो वसुदेवेन धीमता प्रीतस्तमाह देवर्षिर्हरेः संस्मारितो गुणैः. Yes. Anyone wants to volunteer for reading?
If you want, I can read.
Yeah. So,
Shukdev Goswami said, O King, O King, Devarsi Narada was pleased by inquiry of the highly intelligent Vasudev because it suggested the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It reminded Narada of Lord Krishna. Thus Narada replied to Vasudeva as follows.
yeah. Thank you. So, Shri Shuka continued. Rajan, O King Parikshit, evam krita prashno vasudevena dhimata. So, Narad Muni in this way was inquired, krita prashno, by whom? Dhimata vasudevena, by the highly intelligent Vasudeva. So, by his inquiries, Narada was very pleased. Pritaha, Pritaha, he was very pleased. Tamaha, so Narad Muni spoke to him. Devarshi, Tamaha, Devarshi spoke to him. Harehe samsmarito gunaihi. He spoke to him being reminded by the qualities of Lord Hari. When he asked these questions, Vasudeva, when he asked the questions, so Narad Muni was reminded by Lord Hari's qualities. Naturally, no, because he is making or asking the inquiries about Bhagavata Dharma. So he was reminded of Lord Hari's wonderful qualities, process of bhakti, and like all those aspects. Harehe gunaihi samsmaritaha. So then Narad Muni replied to him, Sridhar Swami, Harer gunaihi varnaniyatvena prastutaihi harihi samsmaritaha iti arthaha. The meaning is what? He was reminded of Lord Hari's qualities as a topic to be described. You understand? By the questions of Vasudeva, he understood that now I should speak this topic which naturally reminded him of Lord Hari's qualities. He thought that this will be described now. These are the qualities I'm going to describe. Because bhakti, the topic of bhakti, how will it be devoid of Lord Hari's glories, right? Lord Hari's qualities. So he was naturally reminded of that. That's it, like that. So text 10, nothing further. That's all. Text 11. Shri Narada Uvacha Samyagetad Vyavasitam Bhavata Sattvatarshava Yat Pritchase Bhagavatan Dharmans Tvam Vishva Bhavanan. Yes, Prabhu.
Sri Narada said, O best of Sattvatas, you have quite correctly asked about the eternal duty of the living entity towards the Supreme Lord. Such devotional service to the Lord is so potent that its performance can purify the entire universe.
All right. So Shri Narada Uvacha. So Narad, he was very happy with Vasudeva's inquiry. And in 3 verses, first he expresses his pleasure. So these 3 verses now, 11th, 12th, and 13th. 3 verses, they describe the priti, the pleasure that was caused by Vasudeva's inquiries. So Narad Muni says, Samyak etad vyavasitam bhavata sattvatarsham. O best of the sattvatas, best of the yadus, Vasudeva, etad samyak vyavasitam. This resolve of yours is very wonderful. What you have decided to ask to me and what you want to know, these inquiries, these are very wonderful. So, yat pritchase, that what you are asking me, what are you asking? Bhagavatan Dharman. So you are asking for the principles of Bhagavad Dharma. You want to know about this. Etat vyavasitam tu samyak. This is actually a very, very wonderful determination of yours that you want to know about these topics. Why? Why do you say so? Because Bhagavatan Dharman, they are qualified by the word Vishva Bhavanan, because the principles of Bhagavad Dharma, they are Vishva Bhavanas, meaning they purify the whole world. These are Vishva Bhavanam or Vishva Bhavanaha. So Bhagavad Dharma is Vishva Bhavana. It is purifying the whole universe, in fact. So that's the point. That's why it is a very, very wonderful topic. Sridhar Swami, Pritim Avishkaroti, Samyak iti tribhi. By 3 verses, beginning with this verse, Samyak. What is being done? There is Avishkar of Priti. There is expression of Narad Muni's pleasure and Narad Muni's happiness. So that's the purpose here. Vishva Bhavanan Sarva Shodhakan. Sridhar Swami has translated Vishva Bhavanan as Sarva Shodhakan. The principles of Bhagavad Dharma, they are what? They purify everything. Purify the whole universe, or Vishwak, you can say, you can take in the sense of everything also. So they purify everything. Sarva Shodhakan. All the living beings in the universe, they are purified by these principles of Bhagavad Dharma, right? Vasudeva also said, just by hearing these principles, it will free one from all fear. What to speak of practicing it? Kim uta acharya. Vishwanath Chakravarti was saying that, isn't it? What to speak of practicing them? One will, get all the realization of the Supreme Lord. Srila Jiva Goswami, Tatra Tadiya Swaprayojanasya Uttaram Sarvante Dasyati Bhagavad Dharmasya Uttaramaha Samyakiti. So here Jiva Goswami says there are like 2 inquiries basically. There is one inquiry about Bhagavad Dharma or Bhagavata Dharma. Both are used as synonymous here. Bhagavata Dharma or Bhagavad Dharma. And second is Swaprayojana. There is also Vasudeva's own desire, right? Vasudeva, he asked about, okay, please instruct me so that I can be freed from this fear which is engulfing me completely, or fear of samsara. So these 2 inquiries are also connected only. In one way, we can say that they are similar inquiries only, but still they are also different. Bhagavad Dharma, there is discussion of bhakti process and 3 kinds of adhikaris. And the second question is more to do with the aspect of Maya and understanding the nature of Maya and how to get liberation from the Maya, all those aspects. So there is some difference also in 2 questions, isn't it? So that's why Jiva Goswami says that Swaprayojanam, the Vasudeva's specific inquiry pertaining to himself, what was that inquiry? That inquiry was about especially the freedom from all kind of fear. It could also mean the fear of the curse of the Brahmanas and all. So that question will be answered in the end, Sarvante. It will be answered in the end. But right now, what is answered is Bhagavad Dharma. Bhagavad Dharmasya Uttaramaha. That answer, especially about getting freed from all the fear, he will give Dasyati. Dasyati means he will give in the future. In the end, he will give. Like that. Right now, he is speaking only here about Bhagavad Dharma. He will answer the question of Vasudeva's specific inquiry for himself in the end. Right now, he is answering the question regarding Bhagavad Dharma first. So that's all is here. Text 11. So Prabhupada's disciples have quoted similar verses where there is congratulation done by the speaker. Shukadeva Goswami also congratulated words of Parikshit, right? When in the second canto he began to speak. Varyaneshate Prashna. So this is the typical conduct of Bhagavatam. We see that the speaker is glorified and put forward the inquiries. And then the speaker appreciates the inquiries and then answers. Then the audience again expresses thanks, expresses the gratitude and makes further inquiries. So these are very wonderful etiquettes as a speaker or as a listener for us to follow. So Munaya Sadhu Prushtoham, right? Sut Goswami also appreciates the questions of the sages in the second chapter, first canto. So that's how Narad will now answer Vasudeva's inquiry about the process of devotional service. Later, at the end of their conversation, he will reply to Vasudeva's comments about Vasudeva's own faulty intentions. That particular thing that I worshipped, he was talking about his own thing that, okay, I worship the Lord only for Putra Labha, nothing. I never worshipped him for moksha like that. So that idea again of how to conquer the material energy and attain liberation from material energy. So that will be answered later. Bhagavad Dharma, yes, that is being answered. One more verse in glorification of his inquiries. Shruto no patito dhyata adrito vanu moditaha sadyah punati saddharmo deva vishvdruhopihi. Yes, Prabhu.
Pure devotional service rendered to the Supreme Lord is spiritually so potent that simply by hearing about such transcendental service, by chanting its glories in response, by meditating on it, by respectfully and faithfully accepting it, or by praising the devotional service of others, even persons who heed the demigods and all other living beings can be immediately purified.
Yeah, thank you. So, Shruto Anupatito Dhyatah. In fact, he says that this Bhagavad Dharma is so wonderful. Saddharma is same as Bhagavata Dharma. Saddharma Sadhyaha Punati. The Bhagavad Dharma or the Saddharma, it immediately purifies. So, whom does it purify? One who is speaking the Bhagavad Dharma? Only that person is purified? No. Shruto. If the Bhagavad Dharma is heard, all those who are hearing about Bhagavad Dharma, they are immediately purified. Anupatito, or the Bhagavatam is, the Bhagavad Dharma is glorified in response. Anupatito, meaning somebody is glorifying the verses of Bhagavad Dharma, and if we are also following in that chanting, we are repeating that message. That is also Anupatita is literally somebody is doing pathana, somebody is reciting the verses of Bhagavatam, glorifying the Bhagavad Dharma. Take verse like Savai Pumsam Paro Dharma. And when we are also reciting behind as a response, that is called Anupathanam, Anupatito. Dhyataha, when these instructions are remembered, you are meditating on it, you are meditating on the meaning of these wonderful instructions of Bhagavad Dharma. All these verses that will come ahead also, right? Bhagavad Dharma is everywhere in the Bhagavatam. Wherever the glories of Bhagavan or pure devotional service are being done, that is Bhagavad Dharma, obviously. So, when you are meditating on these verses or its meaning, that's the point. Adrita, by respectfully and faithfully accepting it. If we just give a great respect to this message and accept it, adrito, like that. Va anumoditaha, or it is praised It is praised as, others may be doing that, but we are praising it, that how wonderful is this devotional service and all. So anyone in this way who connects to Bhagavad Dharma like that, that person is purified. In fact, Bhagavad Dharma has power to purify Deva Vishwa Druhopihi, those personalities who have even hated the demigods or have done some offense to the demigods or to all other living beings. Vishwadruha. So somebody who has done the sin of some droha, some hating, hatred, or going against the instructions of devatas or instructions of Supreme Lord, or those who have even done some wrong to the other beings and all. So such people also can be purified by Bhagavad Dharma, isn't it? Right? So many examples of that. Brigari, examples like Brigari, or many different, like somebody who has offended great sage, or somebody who has offended other living beings, somebody who has offended great Muni, somebody has offended even a pure devotee or like that. Even such people, they are purified immediately by Sadharma, this way. So Sridhar Swami, Adrata Astikyena Grihitaha. So Shruta Anupatita is quite clear. So he gives the meaning of Adrita. So Adrita means what? Bhagavad Dharma is Astikyena Grihitaha. It is accepted with faith and respect. Astikya has that aspect of faith, no? So faith and respect. Adara, Adrit is connected to Adara, respect. So we accept this message with great faith and respect. Anumoditaha paraihi kriyamanaha samstutaha. Anumodita means approving it when it is being performed by others. So one may not be himself following, but even if one is glorifying it being done by others, such person also will get purified of his sinful proclivities and all. Of course, somebody who is practicing will get the maximum benefit, but Bhagavad Dharma is being glorified like that it is even powerful, so powerful that somebody connects to it in any way, right? So it's a good point that sometimes we may not be able to follow a certain high standard of bhakti, but at least we should appreciate. We should appreciate the devotees of the Shastra and their standard, right? Sometimes people feel like, oh, it is impractical. So then one becomes sort of disinterested in the whole thing, right? So at least we can cherish and aspire that Anumodanam can be there. Then that way also we will quickly get purified of our contamination and probably come to that level, right? So our own contamination should not make us averse towards the pure standard of bhakti, pure standard of the pure devotees which are mentioned in Bhagavatam and all, right? We may not be on that standard, but at least we are very happy to know about them, and we really appreciate from core of our heart what a level of devotion. It is so wonderful. Anumodanam, you see? So that's how it is. Shrutam, the hearing, chanting its glories in response, meditating, or doing anumodanam. So that is very important. If we don't have appreciation only, how will we ever become qualified to practice that, right? Bhakti like Raganuga and all. If we don't have any appreciation only, we will never achieve it. We will never reach there. That kind of purification will not happen only. That's the point. Deva, here Deva can be separated from this Deva Vishwadruho. So in that case, Deva becomes address for Vasudeva. Hey Vasudeva, iti arthaha. Or you can connect that, no problem. Yatva devebhyo vishvasmaicha druhyanti ye tanapi. Or if you connect them, then it means that those personalities who have gone against or offended even the Devatas or Deva, which is Supreme Lord Himself, or other living beings in the universe. So even such personalities can be purified. Otherwise, by process of karma kand or like that, those kind of attainments are very tough, no? But Bhagavad Dharma can purify even such personalities. That's the point. Okay. So in this way, in these three verses, he has described his appreciation. Prabhupada's disciples purport, and then we stop here. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, following Sridhar Swami, has commented that word Sadharma refers to Bhagavad Dharma. So that's it. Bhagavad Dharma or Sadharma. This way. It is so powerful that even those who by worldly standards are implicated in various ways in sinful behavior can easily be purified by adopting any of the processes mentioned in this verse. So it's great ability to purify. The process of jnana or the process of karma, they don't have this efficacy in purification of someone who has who is with contamination, right? Sixth canto also is describing in the beginning process of atonement, or even process of jnana is being compared to bhakti, right? Neither ordinary materialistic yoga processes meant for achieving mystic powers nor impersonal processes based on speculation have the power to purify immediately those who have fallen into sinful behavior. So, Sadharma or Bhagavad Dharma is being contrasted with these processes. All right. So, that's how. So, I guess we saw only two verses, 11th and then 12th. Then later 13th verse and further it will be. Okay, probably I have to increase the speed of the explanation. Yeah. All right, no problem. I think we can pause here. It is already 12:40. So we can pause here. Granth-raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so any of you need to leave, please go ahead. If you have question, you may stay back and ask. Anything? Any question? Yeah, Mahatseva Prabhu.
Prabhuji, druha is used, and the druha means drohi basically. So that is basically offenses, correct? Prabhu?
Droha can mean, Prabhu, yeah, droha can mean to disobey or to offend, to go against, to not follow instructions. All those meanings of droha are possible.
Basically, because here hateful is used, so I was also thinking that as a devotee also we should not be sometimes we become also like little bit hateful towards karmis or other sections. So we should be more merciful than any comment.
Yeah, I mean anyone who is becoming offensive, critical, or like that, especially Deva Vishwadruhi Api, it is talked about in the manner that, yeah, as devotees, so we want to respect every single person, right? But the efficacy is being talked about in the manner of, okay, even those people who have offended the Supreme Lord, or they have offended many, many living beings, even such people can be purified. So what to speak of those who are, pious, those who follow the aspects of varnashrama, or those who lead a life which is of piety, they are certainly much benefited, very quickly purified, and they can make progress by Bhagavad Dharma. So efficacy is being spoken in terms of that, Prabhu. So yes, we should be also careful of offenses. And Deva word is translated by some acharyas there as Supreme Lord also. So we should not offend Supreme Lord. We should not offend Supreme Lord's devotees also. So yeah, it's all included there. No problem.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Ranjal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Bolo.
So, Prabhuji, you were discussing in the last class about Brahmavadis. You have a discussion there. So so Brahmavadis go to impersonal Jyoti. But Brahmavadi, they believe Supreme Personality of Godhead, but for them Brahman is the highest. So it means they consider impersonal Jyoti higher than Supreme Personality of Godhead
No,
in the
no,
Bhagwan form?
no. Brahmavadis don't consider impersonal Brahma Jyoti as highest. They consider it as the desired object of worship. You know. So they know these features of Supreme Lord like Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. And they accept all these features as Satchidananda Rupas, as the transcendental forms. But their own attraction for whatever, because of their original samskaras, is towards Brahma Jyoti. So, but they will not talk some things like this that, oh, Brahma Jyoti, say Shri Krishna aaye, or like that. No, they will just consider it as Shri Krishna is also that manifestation of that Brahman. A manifestation of that Brahman means what? You can say it's like this, a Savishesh Brahman. They say that eternal truth Brahman, when it is manifested with qualities, that is the Supreme Lord. And if it is manifested without qualities, that is the Brahman, Nirguna Brahma. So we are attracted to that feature which is without qualities. That's how it is. That's the idea. So there is so much of focus on that Nirguna aspect that they don't want to hear much about Supreme Lord or like that. They may do it just as the part of, a little bit part of the bhakti process, because as we said, that part is part of sadhana. Even for the Brahmavadis, they hear something because they read Shastra, they naturally are going to also read about some Supreme Lord pastimes, these features, and what is this feature called as Bhagavan, and all that. So even sometimes they may know also that Bhagavan is supreme, but still their samskar is very strong, that the idea and the samskaras, they drive them to only worship Supreme Brahman, this Nirguna Brahman, and achieve that only. The idea that Brahman is supreme and from Brahman comes Ishvara, that kind of idea is actually going more into Mayavadi idea, where Mayavadis think that Ishvara is caused by Brahman. Of course, then they go further and say that Ishvara is Maya only. Ishvara is material. So that is the problem. But yeah, Brahman, those who are Brahmavadis, they're focused on Brahman. That's all. They may know about all the features of Supreme Lord because these are very learned people. Like that.
Somehow or
Okay.
the other, they're attracted to the impersonal feature of the Lord.
Yeah, Jiva Goswami says Purva Samskar Vashat. He says because of prior samskaras, probably that kind of knowledge was cultivated in the prior life or like that. So then one becomes drawn to that kind of feature only. Or even the experience of material world where one has experienced a lot of suffering in relationships or like that. So one starts cultivating that kind of knowledge where you want to negate everything. Stay away from relationship, stay away from form, stay away. So even if that form is spiritual, they may still want to stay away from it. And they know it also. Isn't it amazing, third canto, Kapila Muni is explaining, Chitta Badisham Shanakai Viyunkte. He is talking in 25th chapter, third canto. So he says, these are the yogis who meditate on Paramatma, realize Paramatma, and then they ask Brahman, merging into Brahman to that Paramatma. So you can see, it has gone to what extent now? Somebody who has realized Paramatma, Paramatma manifests in their heart. It is mentioned that the yogi even cries tears out of that ecstasy. And then when Paramatma is asking him to like sort of basically what is the benediction that is desired from that Paramatma is the merging in Brahman. So that's how it is. So you can see that samskara must be very, very strong. And that's why what to speak of just hearing the explanations, even if they're witnessing Paramatma, still they want to merge in Brahman. Okay. Jai Gopinath Prabhu. Yes, Jai Gopinath Prabhu, please speak.
Yes, yes, Prabhu. This is related to this last question about Brahman and also Saguna Brahman. When we hear the explanation of Sukadeva Goswami, hearing the qualities of the Supreme Lord, and he become more attracted to that. But Prabhu now told that they also know about the Brahman with the qualities. So then how we can understand that just after hearing that only he understood, unless until they consider that as the highest, and then now he consider the quality, oh, so wonderful quality, so he got attracted. So that part I am little unclear about it.
So in that case, do you want to say that Shukdev Goswami never heard about Lord Krishna's qualities before?
Uh, it appears like that to me when I hear that. So that way I'm a little confused about it.
Okay. Okay, Prabhu. So you see, Shukadev appeared when Lord Krishna was there on this planet. There is this whole story in Brahma Vaivarta Purana, which is quoted by Jiva Goswami in the 9th canto. So Shukadev appeared when Lord Krishna was there on the planet. In fact, Shukadev appeared only on the condition that Vyasadeva brings Lord Krishna from Dwaraka. He brings him to his place, Badrikashram, and he promises, Lord Krishna would promise Shukadeva that you will not fall in Maya. Only then Shukadev said that I will come out of the womb of my mother, Vitika. So then Vyasadeva went to Dwarka and he came back bringing Krishna. He came with Krishna on the chariot. And then Krishna promised Shukadev that, okay, I promise you that you will never fall in Maya. So you see, this is a person who has spoken to Krishna. In fact, the reason that he was given name Shuka, why? Because he offered such beautiful prayers to Lord Krishna that Shri Krishna said, Vyasat vadiyatanayaha Shukavat manodnyam brute tasmadastu saha Shukanamna. This is a verse from Brahma Vaivat Purana. So he says that Vyas, your son Shukadev, is actually such a personality. He speaks manodnyam, such sweet words like Shuka, like a parrot. So let his name be Shuka. So Shukadev or Shuka is the name given by Lord Krishna himself to this. So Shukadev obviously knows about Krishna. He knows about the pastimes of Krishna. He knows that Krishna is Mayadhish. That's why he asked Krishna to come and promise him that I will not fall prey to Maya. And then he is leaving to continue his meditation on Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord meaning the Supreme Brahman. Still, after this episode, he is leaving. That Putra, this whole thing is after this. Like that. So, what happens then suddenly when he hears these verses as Barhapidam or like that? How is he getting attracted? That way. So, that's why Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti has put Shukadev in the category of Kripa Siddha actually. He says that Shukadeva Vairochanadayaha Kripa Siddhayaha. He has commented this in Bhagavatam commentary. Vairochani meaning Bali Maharaj or personalities like Shukadev, they have received Kripa only directly. Otherwise, for Shukadev to suddenly develop such an attraction by hearing those two verses, that same personality whom he has met also, whom he has glorified also. But how did that kind of effect come about? So that was because of Vyasa's mercy on him, Vyasa's praying for him, that he really wanted his son to be the person who will be the propounder of Srimad Bhagavatam. As soon as Vyasa wrote down the entire Bhagavatam, his first person he thought about was Shukadev, who was that time in forest, and he thought, how I will get back this person. So that's why this is explained in Tattva Sandarbha also, you must be knowing. Tattva Sandarbha, Baladev Vidyabhushan is commenting on this episode, in Tattva Sandarbha Tippani. So the point is that Shukdev, how did he get that mercy, Prabhu? He got the mercy actually. It is a mercy. He is a Kripa Siddha. He is being offered that very special mercy by Supreme Lord because of Vyasa's desire. And Vyasa himself is Supreme Lord, right? So that's when he heard those verses, there is just amazing transformation occurring. And his meditation on that impersonal Brahma is just destroyed. He felt so attracted and drawn towards Krishna that he said, I want to know more about Sri Krishna and his personality. And sometimes in explanation, devotees, they just fluff it by saying he went and said to those disciples of Vyasadeva who recited verses like Barhapidam, he said, okay, who is this person? Obviously, he knows who is this. Do you think that somebody who is liberated from birth, he will not know about Krishna? Obviously, he knows about Krishna. But the point is that samskar was there, that he was just absorbed in impersonal Brahma, that meditation. So these people, Jiva Goswami speaks even in Bhakti Sandarbha, in the what is that? Siddha Prakaras, I think, in the Sadhu Prakaras, the types of sadhus in Bhakti Sandarbha, he talks about these devotees who are like absorbed in impersonal meditation, but they still perceive some Dvaita. How is it possible, right? If we say they are constantly in Samadhi of Advaita, of that not perceiving any Dvaita, but then how is Shukdev going to somebody when the cow is being milked and then he's asking for some sort of milk? So this Jiva Goswami is speaking on this aspect over there, and he says that yes, although they are in that impersonal samadhi always, but still there is this aspect which is also recognizing the duality at level and acting on that level. But then their anuvritti is never badhita. The meditation samadhi always still remains constant on that impersonal Brahma. So it is little inconceivable also for us how it works that way. But they surely perceive duality, right? They surely perceive Dvaita. Otherwise, where is the question of wandering from one place to another, or not wandering, but especially going to somebody and, for Shukdev it is mentioned, no? Sa godohan matram hi griheshu grahamedhinam. So then obviously he's perceiving some Dvaita there. But what happened was with those two verses, his meditation only broke. And then he was drawn towards, okay, I want to hear about Krishna and know this thing. So then he came back to learn like that. That's what I will say.
So the understanding is that the Brahmavadis, though they know about the Saguna Brahman, but their meditation on the Nirguna Brahman was so much so that they don't think about the qualities or activities of the Saguna Brahman. But in case of Sukadeva Goswami, when he heard those two verses, the Kripa Siddhi made him broke his meditation on Nirguna Brahman and then got attracted to the Saguna Brahman. In that way, we have to understand.
This is how we can understand. I mean, this is how, at least connecting all Vishwanath's statements and Jiva Goswami's ninth canto whole analysis of Shukdev's personality and all that. This is how we can understand. So I personally, as I quoted the references to you, this is how Vishwanath Chakravarti puts him in Kripa Siddhi category. And Kripa Siddhis are the ones, these are the ones directly they get that bhava. These are not the ones who come to sadhana bhakti or like that, right? Kripa Siddhi sometimes is misunderstood also. Kripa Siddhi is not that okay, somebody received bhakti by someone's mercy or like that. It can act in that manner also, but Kripa Siddhi sometimes can directly invoke bhava in somebody. So in case of Shukdev, who is already a Jivan Mukta, it's not like any sadhana bhakti is being invoked or no. He is directly going on that platform of bhava then. He is experiencing and he wants to experience the complete array of Shri Krishna's qualities now. So that's why he went over there and to learn from him. So this is how it should be understood. Okay.
Yes, so, that part, could you explain a little bit extra? That you said that Sukadeva Goswami knows that Krishna is the controller of Maya. That means he knows that quality of Krishna, that he is the controller of Maya. But still his meditation on Brahman was so strong that after coming out, he just go to meditating on Brahman. Is that true?
Yeah, that is true. That's true. You can see this episode, Prabhu. It is in 9th canto. There is this one verse which is talking about daughter of Shukadev, Shuka Kanya. You can
Yes.
search. Yeah. So in that verse's commentary, you can see Jeev Goswami is quoting complete Brahma Vaivat Puran episode and is analyzing Shukadev's personality there. Because daughter of Shukadev, that Shuka is a different Shuka. Where Jeev Goswami and Vishwanath speak about 3 Shukadev Goswamis, One Shuka, which is the speaker of Bhagavatam, another Shuka, which was a Chaya Shuka, produced by Shukadev Goswami, because Vyasadev was not getting pacified only. So Shukadev produced a Chaya Shuka, and that Chaya Shuka married. And that is the daughter of Chaya Shuka, which that verse is speaking. And then third Shuka is spoken in the Mahabharat and all that. So Jeev Goswami says it is some kalpantar. It is some different. He was born from Arni sticks. Vyasadev's vital energy, vital fluid fell on the Arni sticks, and that's how he was born. So that Shuka, Srila Jeev Goswami says, is from some other kalpa. Our Shuka, our Shuka meaning the speaker of Bhagavatam Shuka, that Shukdev is born from Vitika, sometimes Vatika, that is Vyasadev's wife's name. Vatika or Vitika, both names are seen. So that is the Shukdev. Jeev Goswami just sort of giving the identity of that Shuka. And he was the one who met Krishna. He was the one who knew Krishna as Mayadhish. And only after Krishna's promise, he came out of his mother's womb and then went away in impersonal meditation, like that. Okay.
Okay, bro. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so I think we will pause here. So next week we will meet. We'll continue the discussion. There's very wonderful discussion coming ahead now, especially the answers of Bhagavad Dharma. So these are very profound verses and commentaries also. So we'll continue. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.